Alright, how's it going? So in this video, we're going to be going over 1-star reviews. Oh, Jesus. I'm not gonna lie to you, right? This is probably going to be pretty awful. But there's a lot of good reviews as well. The game in general is a pretty good game. I like Arknights a lot, but it's not perfect. So we're going to go through these. If you enjoyed the video, drop a like. If you want to subscribe, we're almost at 3,000. I'd really appreciate it. Anyway, let's get right into this. I'm uninstalling this game. It's hard for newbies to play this game due to how hard it is to farm levels, materials. Oh boy. Okay, only at level 3 and already recommended to use at least level 40 characters. Okay, so this is actually quite funny. Is the game too difficult for newbies because it's hard to farm level materials? To be fair, if you're playing when there is no event, it actually is quite painful to level up characters, but if it does say, like, for example, you need at least level 40 characters, most of the time you don't need that high level, and also you can build a lot of characters early on, like 3 stars, etc., to get to level 40 at least. Once you start getting to like that Elite 1, Elite 2 section especially, then it's fair enough. I mean, trying to make an Elite 2 operator at the beginning is annoying because of the factories. You have to actually get the chips, especially if you're doing 6 stars. The materials, like this guy says, are actually a pain to get, and I wish to this day that the material farming was just a lot easier, especially with the fact that we have modules. Like, it would just make our life so much easier. Disappointing, twice limited banner 100 pull, Spectre and Texas, and never get them. I mean, I hate to say it, but this is a gacha game, and to be fair, right, I've seen a lot of people complain about the gacha rates in this game, and not getting the 2 characters that are limited on the banner in 100 pulls isn't really shocking, at least for me personally, unless you're lucky like me and just get them every single time. Then it doesn't really matter, but you know, still. Terrible game mechanics. Your expensive meta units cost 1 million DP to deploy. Oh boy. Your stages are littered with suicidal insects with explosives, and the very air kills your units. On fun! Exclamation mark. I mean, to be fair, when I first started playing the game, I was very confused why some of the DP costs were so high. I was like, dude, I need to get like 30 plus for Mudrock. Like, what is this game? This is so stupid. But with like certain characters like Myrtle, Elysium, just Vanguards in general, this becomes a lot easier. I don't think it's that much of a problem. I think also the fact of the insects, I will be honest, the exploding insects are a pain, and you could always make the argument, oh well, just use Lapland. That's a good point, but a lot of people aren't that smart. That's just reality. Like, I personally just use support units and just pretty much tank everything most of the time, so it's generally okay for me, but I do get that the explosive bugs can be a bit annoying, to be fair. Alright, next up we have the pity system's pretty bad. Yeah, I mean, I've seen a lot of people complain about the gacha, and to be fair, I don't blame them because I do think there are quite a few problems with it, but the game is a little bit more fair than other games. It feels like I'm trying to like defend Arknights here, and I'm not like trying to defend Arknights. I'm just being fair for a gacha game. I mean, in general, gacha games pretty much aren't fair anyway. Like, you generally have to spend money to get most characters in the game, so I wouldn't really say you can defend any of them, but Arknights is a little bit more generous with what they give. In general, if you save up enough, which does hurt in the end, because I mean, who wants to save for like 6 months for a character? I think it's not really that bad, but can we please reduce the spark from 300 to 200? Because at the moment, for you to get a limited character on one of these banners, you have to actually do 300 pulls. Like, that's ridiculous. At least make it 200. Like, that's my opinion. Alright, this is actually going to be an interesting one. I want to talk about this. So, if only the game doesn't reset to loading menu every time my internet got offline, it makes level like IS2 really annoying to complete. Weird, because Azure Lane don't have this kind of problem. So I just want to point this out very quick, and I can see the person also said, for game that has so many revenue, you can't even program the game to stay offline or what. The big problem is that when you have a game that is online, that's a gacha game, you can't really have it be offline most of the time, because I believe, and don't quote me on this, I believe you can't really contact the server, which means that actually cheating would be a lot easier, and people could, for example, just get polls, etc., and it would allow for cheating to be a lot easier. Now, I don't know how it would work if you actually went back online after cheating. Would you just get banned automatically? Is it that type of stuff really there? But A lot of the time we don't get this type of offline stuff because to prevent cheating. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's why. It's quite an interesting one. Would you guys prefer seeing stuff like this, being able to play offline, maybe not being able to access specific stuff, but then again, maybe you could cheat with sanity? It's actually a pretty good point, to be fair. Oh yeah, while I'm editing this, I want to quickly mention, if you haven't joined the Discord yet down below, be free to join. Even if you don't message anything, you can always join the Discord, and we have some stuff going on from time to time. We're trying to make it as big as possible, and just trying to answer people's questions if they're stuck with anything gacha related, really. Alright, this one's quite funny. Alright, garbage game. Don't waste your time on this. Go play literally anything or something, just not this pile of waste of your time. Oh boy, this person's angry about this game. There's no creativity in this game. Zero creativity. The story is really good, but will literally shave off years of your life for a sci-fi fantasy disease-ridden world full of despair when you can just read Warhammer for that kind of lore. Oh, okay, that's a big one. Okay, art is good too, but it's a gacha game. You want that limited unit? Farm like hell for it, and if you don't have pity, then pity on your unlucky life. Oh my god, Jesus. Alright, so the person clearly does not like the game. I'm gonna be honest, I've never read the story in Arknights. After all this time of playing, I pretty much just skip it all because I think, well, I'll read it at some point, and I just don't read it. I don't really have anything to say about the story. I have no clue. But art is good, and I mean, once again, talking about the gacha rates pretty much, even if you farm like a lot and you're a newer player, trying to get a limited unit is still super difficult on like 300 banners. Like, it does feel impossible. Garbage game though. No creativity in this game. I mean, listen, it's his opinion. I mean, it is what it is, you know? It is what it is. Okay, the next one we have is I dislike the chibi design. So this one is a fair point. I've seen a lot of people not be interested in the game simply because of this. And what do I think of this? I don't mind the chibi designs. To be fair, I think Arknights is the one game where the chibi designs don't look bad. I think it makes sense with the enemies, it makes sense with the actual map itself. I don't mind it too much, but if we look at a game like, for example, that doesn't have chibi designs like Path to Nowhere, I know some of you might enjoy the game or might have played Path to Nowhere in the past, but that game is the very reason I'm okay with chibi designs, because the way they execute the actual gameplay, ignoring the menus, ignoring the art, ignoring the story, the actual gameplay, how it looked, was just terrible. I don't care what people say, I think Path to Nowhere looked absolutely awful in game, and the characters just didn't even look really that similar to the art. Obviously, chibi designs aren't anything crazy either, don't get me wrong, but I'd way rather prefer that over what Path to Nowhere had, where they had realistic models, but they just really didn't look good, in my opinion. Now, obviously, with each side of the game, there are not only just bad reviews, there are good reviews, so I want to end it on this one here. This has to be one of the best tower defense games. First of all, I agree with that. I played a lot of games like Plants vs Zombies, I played some other tower defense games, Bloons Tower Defense, if you really count them. I really enjoyed them, but Arknights really does beat them, and the fact it's a gacha game and it still competes is a big deal, at least for me. But the character, story, and game mechanic is great, I really love it. If I had to put on a scale from 1 to 10, I'll give it 10 out of 10 for strategy, since you can beat any levels with any operator ranging from 1 to 6-star operator. There's actually a really nice thing about Arknights is there is so many strategies. If you've seen on my Discord, a lot of people have posted stuff around the current contingency contract. Some tactics are literally crazy, like some people solo contingency contract with Dorothy, and it's just like, all these tactics are really fun. You gotta love the game for it. But also the gacha system is pretty much balanced. I mean, I know a lot of people disagree with that. Imagine this: every time there's a new banner, you get the first temple prize. It's a guaranteed 5-star or 6-star. This event is also great. I'm loving the game. The last part's a little bit confusing because there's not really guaranteed 6-star at the beginning, apart from when you actually join the game, so maybe that's what it means, but the game is great. I'll just say it, the game's great. I do sometimes wish the events happened more often, and we didn't have dead weeks, but in general, I love Arknights, and let me know in the comments what you think about Arknights. Maybe you have some suggestions for what the game should do, or maybe just some of the things that you really do like about the game. Anyway, thank you for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, please drop a like. Like I said before, we're almost at 3,000 subscribers. So if you want to go ahead and subscribe, I would really appreciate it. We have a Discord in the description as well if you have any questions about gacha games. Anyway, I'm not going to waste your time. Have a good one. I will see you next one. And most importantly, adios. Alright, we have one here. No men? Question mark. Interesting. No men as in no men, or no men like no men? Oh, you know what? Sure.